under, please, equations. Could you do that for me? Could you do that? Will you do that for me? Could you be my neighbor? Wait, didn't there come out with a new movie about Mr. Rogers?
Yeah.
Is it out? And did somebody see it?
I don't know if
Let's
it's out.
changing subjects.
But I
Let's go with equations. Anybody know what an equation is? If you had to guess what an equation is, there is one thing something has to have in order for it to be an equation. Anybody know what that would be? Caleb is going to venture and say,
An equation is a mathematical sentence stating two quantities starting point.
oh, thank you for the book, that means nothing to nobody. An equation must simply have equal signs. Because, like Caleb said, it tells you two things that are equal. So without an equal sign, it is not an equation. Now there are examples of these equations. You could have how many different types of equations right now? Well, many. You could have addition equations that would look like this. Oh, this is an equation. 6 plus 7 equals 13. You could have a subtraction equation. 13 minus 8 is 5. Multiplication, 6 times 2 is 12. Division, 6 divided by 3 is 2. Did I get all those right? But usually when we think of equations, ladies and gentlemen, because now you're entering the beautiful world of algebra, we think of there being missing numbers, or we think of there being what we call variables, which are also called letters or whatever. In other words, usually when we think of equations, we think of this. M plus, what did I do?
6 times 2
Yeah.
equals.
Oh, I asked if I got one wrong and nobody said anything. M plus 8 is 13. I think I said 12, but I wrote 10.
Yes.
Did I?
Yeah.
Did I say 12?
Yeah.
Yeah, you said 12.
Maybe it was the typo in the pen. Back to this. Now where was I? I have to start all over again.
Step.
No, this is an equation. Usually when we think of an equation, you have a letter that stands for a number, and you have to figure out what that letter is. Well, for right now, and for those of you that Mrs. Stone helps you with some of this, which occasionally she does, right now you are going to do this. You are going to solve by inspection. I don't know why they call it that, but that's what it is. And what they simply mean by that is really you are kind of doing it mentally. You are solving it just by looking at it. Enjoy it while you can, because I will not allow you to do this a little bit later. But right now you can do it. Which means, children, if you look at this equation here, you would just say to yourself, what number, when I add 8 to it, gives me 13? That's all you're saying. What hashtag, when I add 8 to it, is 13? And there's no magical thing there. You just know that, Chase? Yeah. So the answer to this, the letter M must equal 5. Are you right? Are you good with that? Are you done with that? Are you picking up what I'm laying down?
Yes.
Then again, listless and dull would be the two worst adjectives. Now, lest you think that's as difficult as it gets, is we have to do something that looks like this. Well, let's do this. 12 over z equals, I don't know, 4. What would be the question you'd ask yourself there, Lauren?
What
No.
what number
Yes.
I multiply,
No.
divide, 12 by 4.
I think I would go with this. 12 divided by what number is 4? In which case you would say, Lauren, Yes, z equals 3. This may get a little more tougher than I thought. Ready for something super challenging? Just say yes.
Yes.
There could be a aha moment here sometime, but not yet. Certainly not yet. Don't even think about it. 20 equals 3f minus 1. Who already knows the answer to that? Quickly, come on, somebody, shout it out. Spit. Go, 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 Olivia.
3 times 7 minus 1.
Okay. Now, the question is, Olivia, how did you come up with that so fast, and how am I going to tell the rest of these people what you just did?
So, I first started by going left to right.
So you have a 20?
No, I started with 3 times f, and I thought which of those minus 1 would equal 20.
All right, yeah. Here's what you got to do. This is like a compound sentence, a compound equation. You actually have two things happening here at once. What you do is this: cover up, or get rid of, or don't think about this, but go like this. You'd have to say what number, when you subtract 1 from it, gives you 20. What number, when you take 1 away from it, gives you 20? Wait.
21.
21. So you know this whole thing has to be 21. So then you say, okay, well, 3 times what number would give me that 21? And that's where f has to be 7. Because 21, 3 times 7 is 21, minus 1 is 20. So you get that? You kind of got to break it apart piece by piece. You can't look at it all as one big thing, otherwise you get. How about this one? 2a minus 1 is 9. Okay. Don't think about this yet until you figure out what number, when you subtract 1 from it, is 9. What number, when you subtract 1 from it, is 9, Zachary? 10. So you know this has to be 10. 2 times what number is 10? Caleb? 5. 5. So A has to be 5. If you catch on to something here, the book is doing this for a reason. Really, what really happens here is you're doing the opposite, are you not? When you look at the number 9, what did I do with 9 to get 10? You did the opposite of minusing 1 and adding 1 to it, did you not? That's where 10 came from. And then here, when you had 2a equals 10, this is 2 times what number is 10, but guess what you did to find out what the answer was? You actually did the opposite of multiplying, which was divided by 2. Made no sense. That could be a place where we ooh and we ah.
Shake it up, baby, now.
Shake it up, baby.
Wow. I think maybe it would be just a little bit more better. Remember, it's an ooh and an ah moment. Maybe we should start off with everybody going, ooh. And then somebody goes, ah. You don't have to do it again. That's just a small suggestion. Let me give you a couple more. How about this one? It's slightly more spiritual. Oh, yeah. Take out a... yeah. No. Yeah. No. What is this? I'm looking for something. How about this one? 25 minus n equals 11. Give you a second to think about that. Well, maybe that one's not that hard. Maybe I should make it 25 minus 2n. Let's do that. 25 minus 2n equals 11. Can I do that? Let's do that. What would be the answer to that? I'll give you time to think. Do we have an answer? Do we have an answer, and is it exciting? Who doesn't have an answer? You have to do that. And you don't think you'll ever get an answer? So So the first thing you do is cover up this whole thing and say 25 minus what number gives you 11. Can you figure that out? Is that hard? 25 minus what number gives you 11, Joseph? 25 minus what number gives you 11? I guess if we can't do that, then we are kind of 25 minus what number is 11?
14.
14. So that you know this thing here has to equal 14. So 2 times what number gives you 14, Joseph? 2 times what is 14? Yes. Nice work, whoever whispered it to Joseph there. 7. 7. I guess one last one. 2r plus 3 is 15. 2r plus 3 is 15. By inspection, you would look at that and you would say, yeah, I'm going to wait for everybody to raise their hand. I'm sorry. Did I interrupt something? Huh? Huh? Okay, what just happened there? 2r plus 3 is 15. How many people know the answer to that? Clausing, you don't? Chase, you got an answer on that one too, yes or no? Yeah, this is by inspection. This should be mostly mentally done here. What number, when you multiply by 2 and add 3 to it, gives you 15? That's really kind of a hard way to say it. Connor Morgan says 2 times 12 plus 3 is 15, is what you're saying. 2 times 12 is 24. 24 plus 3 is 27. That's a little high. Wait, there's more. Cassandra?
6.
6. How do you get that? Because you say, okay, what number when you add 3 to it gives you 15? This whole phrase has to be 12. So 2 times what is 12? That's where the 6 comes from. R must be 6. I don't know. I'm starting to question sanity of all.